Hey guys! Woo! We are here! And it's Monday, and it's not bright outside, but this light right here that's giving me some sunshine makes it look like it's bright outside. So we're here, we're ready to rock and roll. Some people are on, Jet is on, Steve is watching. The lineup's gonna come in, so I'm gonna give him a couple seconds, because now, I'm starting to send out, blog posts, and I'm just saying, hey, meet me at 3 p.m. on Eastern time on these social sites. Yep, numbers keep building, this is exciting. Paul's on. We got a crew here. So if you guys are just popping on here and don't even know who I am, I'm Ashley Burkhart. I played softball at Purdue University. I played 2 years professionally, and now I'm just teaching some knowledge today. So this is something that I love to do every single Monday. It's basically give insights on things that I know about the game that you might not know about the game, so that we all can leave better people and more knowledgeable in the game. So if you're just hopping on because you see a smile and you're like, hey, I'm just gonna stay here and hang out, you're gonna get a smile for about 20 minutes. So if you want to stay, hang, tell your friends, that's great. Scott's on. Hey, Scott. So this is the fun part. Oh, Kenzie's on too. I actually just got home from sending, I'm going to tell Kenzie this because she's on here. Kenzie's one of my online trainings. She lives in New York. And you, my friend, have finished your first package with me, online training, and you have a t-shirt that's coming your way. I just put it in the mail about 20 minutes ago. So it's probably going to get to you on Thursday. So that's one cool thing. If you want to join online training, what it is, I can give you swing analysis. I can give you lesson plans in regards to what specifically you should be working on in your swing, because a lot of us, we have a lot of tools out there, but we don't know what to specifically use on specific aspects in our swing that we might need right now. So that's one thing. Kenzie and I have been working really hard about keeping those hands above the ball at contact, and she's been showing huge progress. I believe that she actually had, she probably hates that I'm telling everybody this, but she had I think a hit to left field this weekend. Your dad was telling me about it. You had a hit to left field. That's pretty amazing. And the best part about online training is there is a community that we have. I call them my Smash Tribe, #SmashTribe. And what they do is, so we're all on I don't know if you're familiar with the WhatsApp, but WhatsApp, you're able to communicate with people, and it's specifically on this app. So Kenzie and I, we talk on that WhatsApp. She lives in New York, I live in Indiana, and we're able to talk there. But also every single person, which by the way, I made it to 10 people, 10 online trainings I have right now. And that entire group can communicate in that little community. So what they do is they can talk hey, I just hit my first home run, or hey, I just had a double this weekend. And I gave them a challenge yesterday, is in the group chat, I said, hey guys, I want you to write down one positive thing that you took from the weekend. It could have been, maybe not the best weekend ever, but I want you to be able to walk away with one positive from the entire weekend. And I think that is so huge when you're talking about just being in a positive mindset and being able to be in a growth mindset. No matter how the outcomes were for the weekend, there are things to learn from, and you can learn so much from just even the tiniest awesome thing. So maybe you had a 12 pitch at bat, but you ended up striking out. You still had a 12 pitch at bat. You made that pitcher throw you 12 pitches in your at bat. To me, that's a boost of positivity. I don't care if you struck out because she got the last say, but if you had a 12 pitch at bat, that's pretty incredible on your end. You were able to either see at least 4 balls or at least 3 balls. You made contact on all of the other pitches. You just came up short maybe with that strikeout. But you saw 12 balls. So that means the next at bat that you have 12 pitches at least under your belt. So the next time you see her, you're going to be able to time her up and rock her. Can I get an amen? So there's the positivities you can take from even a strikeout. There are positivities you can take from that. So I texted my community of online trainings, hey, send me some positivity from the weekend. And I got things from a lot of girls. I don't want to share all of them, but one of the girls said that she had a really, really good at bat. She actually moved closer to the plate because the outside pitch is something that she struggles with, and she got a hit on the outside pitch. So that's amazing. One thing that I told everybody that I learned this weekend was I need to take a little more breaks. Like, I need to hop off of social media for 2 days, and it wasn't totally 2 days, but I need to be able to hop off of social media sometimes in order to be my best coaching wise for you today. So like this past weekend, the sun was out, which by the way, it was supposed to thunderstorm here all weekend, and we got 0 rain until last night. But I was by the pool. I was drinking, you know, I don't know if you saw my Instagram post, but I was drinking out of my Purdue cup, which by the way, go Boilers. And it was literally the best thing. I got in the pool, I read a book. Like, I was just literally in my quiet selfie mode, like no need to like share really with anybody what's going on in my life, and it felt so good. So the thing that I took from this weekend was I need to take more breaks for myself, because as a coach, I need to be able to be on my A game when my athletes come and see me, or when I work with them, or when I send them their lesson plan. So like, that's a positive that I took from the weekend, was take more breaks. You need it, Ash. Okay, so that was one thing that I took. And if you guys have like positive things from your past weekend, like share them here and I'll give you a little shout out. So yeah, that was one thing that I had them do. But today's show, I really wanted to hone in on how to use the internet or phones or basically media to help us rather than hurt us. So a lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, phones are killing our youth. And I'm just like, okay, come on, don't be dramatic. Like, yes, there are a lot of people that scroll on social media all the time and do the comparison game, but here's the deal. Like, I get caught doing that too sometimes. Like, I'm human, okay? I sometimes open up my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, 30 minutes in, I've been looking at Instagram for 30 minutes and that did nothing for me. And I walk away and I'm just like, whoa, that was not good. And so like, I want to be able to share the insights that I do when I realize, okay, social media, like, quit taking over my life. How can we look at the internet and the beauty of it and take away the things that it's meant to do, rather than getting stuck with the comparison game and just scrolling? So the first thing that I wanted to say was, there are so many outlets to answer questions. So if there is something specific with you right now that you need help with, let's say that it's like Kenzie, keeping her hands above a pitch. So like, this is the thing that I coach her on, but if she needed to make sure her hands stay above the ball, especially on high pitches at contact, I guarantee that she could hop on YouTube right now and type in hands above the ball, and she'll be able to come up and on YouTube, there'd be multiple videos on how to keep your hands above the ball, or make sure your barrel is lined up with the pitch instead of getting under it. Like, there are so many tools on YouTube. Like, seriously, YouTube is the best thing ever. That's why I created a channel. And that's why I'm uploading videos to that channel, because there are so many amazing resources that are on the internet that are literally at your hand right now. Like right now, you're watching me on a phone and you have an app on this phone that will be able to help you with your game or with anything that you want to be working on right now. So let's say you want to have more confidence speaking in front of a camera, for example. By the way, this is how I practice speaking in front of a camera. I do it right now to all of you. So there are outlets to help you do that. I actually listened in a podcast that said, hey, if you want to get better at speaking in public, you do it more often. That's why I meet you every single Monday and I coach you and I teach you the things that I know that I think that more people should know when it comes to softball or mental training or all those things. So like, this is how I practice and this is what I've learned. So YouTube has the answers. Hi, Gabby. Hey, girlfriend. Oh, actually, I just sent you a t-shirt too, and you didn't know that. I think it was a surprise from your mom, but you have a t-shirt with Ashley Burkhardt Training logo on it coming your way. That's funny, because I just sent those 2 today. So just understand there are answers everywhere. So one thing that I love to do before I hop on Instagram, which I've been on Instagram probably a little more than I needed to today, but the thing is with Instagram, yes, all of the people that you follow, that you like, there's an algorithm to put all of the content that you would like up at the very top of your feed, right? So the thing is, if you're always seeing the stuff from the same people, no wonder why you're playing the comparison game. You're always seeing their stuff. But what if you went onto Instagram and you went to the search bar on Instagram and you looked up things that you want to know more of? So I'm just going to share my example of this. So I'm a hitting coach. I'm a defense coach too, and a mental coach as well. But hitting is like my baby. I love it so very much. The mechanics of hitting, I nerd out about all the time with my athletes. And what I want to know more, like, I do not know everything. Like if any coach or any person in your life tells you that they know everything about a certain topic, don't let them be your coach. Because the coaches that did that for me were very arrogant and they didn't want to learn more. And for that, I'm limited as their athlete. So you want coaches that are going to be able to research and learn more, because that's what's going to make us better, all of us in the end. So when I go on Instagram, before I do any sort of post or any sort of scrolling, I make sure that I look up hitting content. So that's as easy as just following certain people like I've talked about him before, but Fuller Hitting on Instagram. If you guys don't know who he is, go give him a follow right now. Fuller Hitting. His name's Ryan Fuller. He did a podcast with Going Yard Podcast, just like I did. And his story is pretty awesome. I love it. He started at JUCO, I believe, and he worked his way up to play D1 baseball. But he is an amazing coach when it comes to hitting. So I made sure that I follow him, and I'm looking at his content every day. So what's great about him is he's posting like every single day with his lessons and with people that he works with. So like that's somebody that I'm going to learn from him before I go and like scroll, right? Just scroll and just see what my friends are doing. Because if I'm constantly scrolling and seeing what my friends are doing all the time, I am not learning or gaining anything for myself other than gaining a comparison. And nobody wants that. Like, nobody wants to be compared to someone. Go do your own dang thing. Like, you are on this planet for a certain reason, and so you should be giving what you have to the world before you start consuming other people's stuff. I hope that resonates with people, because I was one of those people that used to be like, oh my gosh, I want to see what other people are up to, and then I'll post something because I'm kind of worthy to do that. No. Like, you can learn a lot from social media. You can learn a ton from social media, but you want to be able to create, like this is one of the best things I ever heard, create, like put out your stuff before you consume. So before you consume other people's stuff, create something, like bring something to the world. Like if you like hit a home run this past weekend, don't feel like it's arrogant to post that home run. Like, that's pretty darn awesome that you hit a home run, and maybe you're going to be able to inspire somebody else that wants to hit a home run, and they're going to be like, whoa, that's what a home run swing looks like. Like, do your thing, post your thing, and then consume what other people have to say. So just understand that social media is a great tool. It's a great tool, but it's so easily misused, because we're all comparing each other with each other, and there's no good in that. Jim Rada, Dan said, yes, Fuller provides some awesome hitting material for the coach and player. Yes. So if you're a hitter on here right now and you have an Instagram, go to Instagram and find Fuller Hitting. He is so knowledgeable. Like, there are so many, I would say I'm his friend, because I'm constantly sending him like, oh my gosh, my girl so-and-so needed this drill. Or, oh my gosh, I needed this when I was playing. He's very, very insightful when it comes to hitting. And so a lot of things that I'm posting on my stories when it comes to hitting is probably coming from his account. But that's just one thing that I love to do on Instagram, is to research on Instagram. I'm researching video content. I'm researching, mental coaches that are working on how to coach athletes in the most sophisticated but also like personable way. That's where like I feel like one of my crazy weird gifts is that I can coach an 8-year-old and an 18-year-old and still be able to say things that are going to resonate with both of them. Not simultaneously. Like, I can't have them in the same room and say the same thing to the 18-year-old as the 8-year-old. And, like, they're going to pick up certain different things because of their age difference. But I could work with an 8-year-old in a private lesson and have something that I really want to get out to them so much faster, because I can say it in a way that they understand. But then, like, let's say the next 30-minute individual lessons with an 18-year-old, I'm not going to talk to my 18-year-old the way I talk to my 8-year-old. Like, the 18-year-old needs maybe a little more kick in the butt sometimes, to get them out of their own way. But you just have to be able to speak to them on different levels. And so I've learned that through the years that I've been coaching. So after I played at Purdue, which 2015 was my last year, makes me feel old because we're almost to 2020. But since then, since I played, I realized that like coaching athletes, it's something that like every single day I learn. I learn what to say, what not to say, what resonates, what doesn't. Like, that's where I always have this growth mindset, and that I feel like it's something where if you just expose yourself to not just content, but things that could give you a better insight on what you're looking to get better at, which, again, phones, the internet, all of it is stuff that you can use to be able to gain that knowledge and gain that insight on how to be better at whatever it is you're trying to get better at. So for me, it's following Ryan Fuller on Instagram. It's going on Instagram and saying, oh, this coach just posted this awesome video on defense. I can't wait to use that for my girl Logan that I'm working with tomorrow. Things like that. Like, look at social media as something where instead of, playing a comparison game, look at it as, okay, well, if somebody's going to post something that has to do with like something that I'm trying to grow at or get better at, then I'm going to give them a follow. But if there are people on your social media, I'm going to say this right now, if there are people on your social media that are tearing other people down, are saying language that you don't want to say yourself, that are always negative, don't follow them. Like, literally go to those people, the people that you just thought about as I said that, go to those accounts and unfollow them right now. Because the more that you consume of that stuff that you don't want actually, like, to be, if you don't want to be negative, if you don't always want to be a Debbie Downer, like, you might be following people that are those things. So take a look at it. Take a look at who you're following. Take a look at who's following you too, because you never know who you're influencing until you see who's following you. So get rid of those people. Get rid of that negativity from your feed. I did that. I did like this cleanse on Instagram and Facebook, and I was just like, don't need to follow that person, don't need to follow that person, don't need to follow that person, because if I consume like all of the things that they're trying to put out there that's negative, it's going to make me feel negative. So if you want to be more positive, follow people that are going to make you feel positive by seeing their stuff. Like, Fearless Fast Pitch is one of my favorite people to follow because she every day is hopping on her phone and giving encouragement to her athletes on there. And it's seriously like, I'm not her athlete, I'm her friend, but I am encouraged just by watching her. And so that's who you want to expose yourself to on social media. Okay, so that was the first thing. 3 ways to have the internet help you rather than hurt you. So the first one was, the internet has a lot to give. Research. Use YouTube to help you with the questions that you might have. My dad and I, literally, when I was trying to figure out how to pitch, my dad played baseball, but he knew nothing about pitching in softball, like zero, probably -0, whatever that is. And we would hop on YouTube and just look at videos, whether they were good or bad. We were finding videos to help me become a better pitcher. And over time, I was becoming better because we were exposing ourselves to free content on the internet. Okay, so and I'm saying this mostly because a lot of people reach out to me and they say, oh my gosh, there's this specific pitch that I just cannot hit. And I said, have you done research on how to fix it? Like, yes, there are tools out there, there are people out there that can help you, but I can't be exposed to everyone, because if I'm exposed to everyone about hitting, I would get virtually way less impact than I'm making now if I was always trying to help people like one at a time. You know what I mean? Like, but I have to be able to understand that I can influence way more people if I am giving knowledge of the things that are questions to me, but I'm going to push that out there to everyone that has that question. But you sending me that question tells me that you haven't done your research on it yet. Like, do your research. A lot of times YouTube, if you just type in, hey, I need to keep my hands above the barrel, or above the ball at contact, you type that into YouTube, videos are going to pop up, okay? So use that. My dad had to figure out how to make me wrist snap when it came to pitching. What do you think we were typing into YouTube? Wrist snap for softball pitchers. And a bunch of videos popped up, and boom, I just got better at softball. So it doesn't work that fast. But the stuff, the feed, all of that free content does show up that fast. So use it to your benefit, okay? It says low internet connection on Facebook, and so I'm trying to figure this out. Ooh, I just exited out of it. Oh no. Uh-oh. Hang on. Bear with me. Slight malfunction. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay, Facebook. What are we doing here? Let's see. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. Just gonna go with it. Okay. I just lost some people. Okay, number 2 on how to use the internet to help you rather than hurt you. Have you ever hopped on Instagram, or have you ever hopped on Facebook, or whatever it is that you follow, and boom, you just realized you lost an hour of your life? scrolling and looking at other things. I just talked about it earlier. Like today, I think I spent like probably 20 minutes like looking rather than like actually interacting and like focusing. An hour of your life. Just imagine what you could do with an hour of your life if you actually had a plan to go make this world a better place in that hour. But instead, you looked at other people's stuff for an hour. You literally sat there on your phone, you're like, oh my gosh, I just lost an hour of my life because I'm looking at my phone. I've been there too, and I was probably there yesterday. Like, it's something that it's hard to train and get better at, but I'm admitting to you that I struggle with it sometimes too. So you are not alone at this at all, okay? You are not alone with this. Like, literally, we're on Instagram right now. Some people may have just like plopped on because they're like, oh, this person's live, I'm just gonna hang out. But here's like the perfect thing that I can say to you is give yourself a time limit. So what I say this is, okay, you're allowed to go see what other people are doing. Shoot, my broadcast just ended on Facebook and I don't know why. Okay, I'm just going to continue on here and see what happens. Let's go live again. Okay, I don't know what happened, but I'm just starting a new live video there. Okay, but give yourself a time limit when you're on social media. So let's say, and I think our phones now have like this option to say, okay, you get like 15 minutes on Instagram, you get 15 minutes on Facebook. Like, you can set timers like for your apps on your phone. So go in there, give yourself however much time you need to give yourself. Like, if you're sitting here losing an hour of your life to social media, maybe you like crunch it down to 30 minutes right now and you work on that 30 minutes and you say, okay, I only get 30 minutes a day. I'm going to do this and this and this. And you'll actually see that you're going to be way more productive on social media than you would be if you didn't have a timer for yourself. So that's another thing that I'm going to give you is, like, in order to bring the most that you can to this world, give yourself a time limit on these apps, because you're going to notice that if you cut it down 30 minutes, you just like gave yourself 30 minutes to go live out your life to the best of your ability. So imagine if you're doing that more often, how much more productive that you can be with your life if you just set a timer on how long you can be on social media. So that's something I'm going to give you. Scott asked if I have ever listened to the Mental Sweet Spot podcast. I have not listened to that podcast, but I think I've heard of that podcast, and I'm definitely going to take notes right now. Mental Sweet Spot. And I'm all about mental games, so I am probably going to follow that after this. Sweet. So Mental Sweet Spot. No, I have not. But, okay. Awesome. I wrote it down. I'm going to go look it up. Okay, so the last thing that I have for you with making sure that you can use your devices or use the internet or use whatever it is you have to benefit you the most is, you're going to think I'm crazy. Pull up your notes tab and write positivity in there. Okay, I'm going to go into like a little bit more detail with this, but after every lesson that I give, we always start our lesson with, okay, what is like your big time goal? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What logo, what college do you want to be wearing on your chest one day? Or what do you see yourself doing? Like, your first home run, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Things like that. So that's the first thing we do. And then we always end the day with, what was the eureka moment that you had today? Or what was the one thing that, stuck out to you the most, that you learned the most from? And that's because this growth mindset is something that I'm probably going to talk about on every single live that I have with you guys. But you always want to be able to tailor your, like, whatever you're writing down to, like, how did you just become a better person? And so, like, every 30-minute lesson, every hour lesson, every camp that I run, like, we're always going to end with journaling, because that's how huge I think it is. And so the reason why I wanted to put it into today's podcast, this is not a podcast, it's a live video. But the reason why I wanted to put it into today's Instagram and Facebook, even though I lost them live, I'm going to send this video to them later, was because you have a phone. Like, literally, you're on a phone right now. And you have a notes tab in that phone. And it's a tab that imagine if you wrote in it every single day something that you learned. Like, or something that was positive, or something that you, like, the best part of your day. Like, you write down at least one thing from each and every single day, and you go and you are having maybe like a bad day, boom, you have this notes tab in your phone that has all of this positivity, all of this like stuff that you've learned, and you can look at that and be like, wow, like look how far I've come. Like when I wrote that 1 year ago, look how far I've come from that one moment. And that's why I have my athletes write this stuff down every single day. And do some probably tell me that they do it and don't? Maybe, but that's on them. Like I can lead them to the water, but I can't make them drink the water, right? Most of my athletes, they'll come with their journal. And sometimes we'll have like these eureka moments in the middle of a lesson, and I'll be like, go grab your journal right now. And like I say it like that because that's how important it is. Go grab your journal, because this is a moment right here that's like an epiphany that you want to be able to like remember, like everything that happened, like what you were wearing, like put yourself back into that positive situation and like see how freaking amazing you are on that bad day where you're like, oh, I'm not good at softball. You open up that journal entry or that app on your phone, that notes tab on your phone, and you look that up and you be like, okay, I'm good. I just wrote about it, and I'm just like, okay, I'm way better than I think I am right now. Like, and here's proof, and here's literal proof. My words, my description of that day and how perfect it was. Like, that's how I like to train myself to be able to put myself back into a positive mindset. Is like I open up that journal and I'm just like, dude, what are you stressing out about? Like, life is good. Like, look at all the amazing things that you did. Life is darn good. And it's amazing how fast we can like turn from a positive mindset to a negative. But I'm trying to teach you all these ways to be able to get back into a positive. So notice, like, there are going to be days that stink. Like, there's going to be days that you think you're the worst softball player alive, but trust me, you're not. And that journal entry is going to help remind you that you are amazing. And you are incredibly amazing. You're not just amazing. Like, you are phenomenally amazing. You are incredibly amazing. You are literally the human being that is going to change the world, and you're going to do it one tiny step at a time. And if we can limit how long we feel bad about ourselves, we'll be able to do more great for the world. So that's kind of how I wanted to end it today. One last thing, though, is if you want to jump on, so I'm definitely promoting this because I'm so excited about it. I just reached my 10th online training, and she's actually from Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is where I'm from. And another crazy story, she is related to I'm not going to give out names, but she's related to a girl that was on my team when we won state my junior year of high school. Like, she's her cousin, and I think that's the craziest thing ever because they didn't know it until after they had purchased online training for me. But if you're in need, okay, so I told you all the free content that's out there, but you can have all the free content, but if you need like a specific game plan on how to get from point A to point B to point C, basically the road to your biggest goal of all time, if you need help with that guidance on like, okay, this is exactly the drill that you need to work on to specifically work on hand path. This is the drill that now that you've gotten really good at hand path, we're going to add in some lower half, making sure our legs are driving, making sure we're getting the most out of our lower half. Like, working on things tailored to what it takes for you to become the best player that you can be. Like, that's what I'm here for. That's what online training is for. So like, if you need help with your swing, or you need help with just being positive and getting more insight on how to be able to journal towards your goals and be able to grow every single day, like, that's what I'm here for. So I do both of those things, the hitting training and mental training in my online training. So if you guys want more information about this, go to ashleybtraining.com and you'll be able to see all the things that I offer. But online training is seriously, it's growing every single day, and I love my kids. I love being able to see, from this past weekend when I had them write who their or what positivity they brought from the weekend. So a lot of them were playing this weekend, so they all gave a little positivity from this past weekend. And just being in a community in a community like that is something that, like, I didn't even imagine it to be that amazing, but people are writing in it without me even saying anything, and that's like the coolest part. It's like having a community that's going to lift you up, especially on maybe days where you need a little bit of lifting up. This is what these people are for. So being a part of a team away from the actual teams you play for is like the coolest part of online training, and I absolutely love it. If you live close to Indiana, I'm hosting a camp July 15th and 16th in Granger, Indiana. You can also find out about that on ashleybetraining.com. And I'm super stoked for it because I'm going to have some super special coaches. One might be related to me, but I can't give that out. And I cannot wait for it. It's going to be the best time. I'm already ordering more t-shirts because I am running low on t-shirts. I'm going to have those. I might do sticker pack stuff. My friend at Fearless Fast Pitch has been doing a lot of sticker packs on like her logo on stickers. So if that's something that you guys would like let me know and I'll probably get them. But I'm trying to make this the biggest event of the summer, and I'm doing it like on purpose right before most nationals are being held. So if athletes are going to some sort of like PGF tournament, ASA, NSA, like nationals, most of them are going to be like the week or 2 weeks after my camp. And there's a reason for that. It's because I want to be able to give you the most positivity, but also confidence going into some of the biggest games of your season. So if you don't feel like you're much of a leader right now, and that's something that you want to grow, and you want to be able to be loud and be proud and be that leader on your team, the vocal, but also the one that's doing all the right things, like this is the camp that you need to go to so that you can go into nationals being a better leader for yourself. And if you're a better leader for yourself, you just made all of your team right next to you better. So think about that, like growing that type of stuff right before nationals might be exactly what you need to potentially win a national championship. Because if your team isn't at nationals wanting to win, what are you guys there for, right? Like when I went to a nationals, if somebody on my team wasn't on board to go win the national, like win the title, then I didn't want them on my team. So like, but that's where some people, they just don't know what they want. And so they're just showing up and just playing. But if your entire team is on a mission to go hold up that trophy at the end of the tournament, like you're more likely going to be there. Because if you don't, what's the quote? If you don't believe it, you won't be it. So if you guys don't all believe that that's your mission, that's your goal going into your national championship, like you won't just pick up a trophy at the end of the weekend. You don't get lucky like that. But the teams that want it the most are going to come out on top. So if you want to be that team and you need a little bit of motivation to maybe get your teammates on that level, sign up for my camp July 15th and 16th in Northern Indiana. It's going to be in, well, I said Granger, but it's near Osceola, near South Bend. So if you guys know where Notre Dame is, it's up here. But if you guys live close, I mean, even if you live like a couple hours away, this camp is going to be something that you really, really want to go to give you that motivation going into postseason. And I call it postseason. You might not call it postseason, but if there's a national championship on the line, it's postseason. So I want to be able to help you get there. I hope that you guys got a lot of insight from today's live on how to make the most of the internet. I'll just review really quick. Make sure that you look on YouTube if you have questions about your swing, because most of the time, if it comes to like physical stuff, YouTube has the answer. I built a YouTube channel just for those people that are looking for more drill content. And I also include some of my Facebook and Instagram lives to help give you a little bit of positivity. So if you need a little positivity, hop over there, get some before your tournament, or find out 3 of the drills that I have posted as well. I'll be posting more of those later on. But YouTube has the answer. If you have questions, use YouTube. Second thing, if you're on social media a lot, you tend to scroll, you tend to look at social media and compare yourself to a lot of other people. Give yourself a time limit on social media. Give yourself maybe like 10 minutes per app. That's it. Because you can do so much with this life if you actually use your time wisely. So being on social media for an hour, which I've done it, it's not helping you move the needle. Move the needle to where you want to be. So give yourself a time limit. And then the third one is you have a journal or you have a notes tab on your phone, use it as a journal. Write down every single day something positive or something that you've learned. Because if you learn something about yourself that you didn't already know, if you learn something and you grasp your knowledge, you grab a book and you learn something from that book, write it down. Because that's the stuff where when you're not having a great day or you need a little bit of light or to see maybe how far you've come, that notes tab is perfect for you to do that. So journal, journal, journal. And journal some more, because you're going to be able to solve a lot of problems on your own by simply writing things down. They say that it's more likely to stick with you if you physically write it down, but since we all have phones here and we're talking about social media and computers, phones, you have a notes tab for that too, so you have no excuse not to journal. And if you guys journal and you like make some revelations within yourself, let me know. That's pretty darn awesome if you do, okay? Just want to make sure I didn't lose anybody else later. All right, well, you guys are awesome. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday, whatever you guys are doing. Even if it's raining, it can still be an amazing Monday. And I will see you next week at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on both Facebook and Instagram. Sorry, Facebook, I don't know what happened to you today. I'm going to post this stuff over there later. But you guys are incredible. You are born for greatness, and I hope you find that inner greatness today. See ya.